The day I'm too wrecked to care anyway. And see this face, what the hell have I lost my taste? Don't want to find out. Want to get out. Explodes, my ears ring. I can't remember just where I've been. That I recall, I got lost in a deep black hole. Want to find out. Want to get out. Blackout. Alright, hey, welcome to Tribulation 5/15/2011, my friends. It's been 29 days since the last Tribulation video. It's been almost a month, 29 days. That last Tribulation, I was talking about the hyper synchronicity, and it's just off the charts. If you look at today, it's day 1112, this blog is Tribulation 5/15/2011. That almost looks like 2011 in reverse, but the twos, the ones, it's all in play. Today is March 12th. I got the number 12 on. This Friday is Pi Day, 3/14. Ragnarok was 2/22, February 22nd. That is when in the Viking folklore that chaos breaks out. And, basically that's the day that the Sochi Olympics ended and Russia attacked the Ukraine. And now we have the Crimea crisis with the world crying out. But basically, the last blog was on 2/11. 29 days later, Ragnarok happened, the chaos broke out. We got all sorts of, blacking out, that's kind of like going into a deep trance. I just finished up my Building the Ark series, which has a whole lot to do with women, so you want to go check that out. I'm going to start a brand new series over on Operation End Times. The Vikings, man. It's going to blow your mind, so, stay tuned for that. Right now, Vikings are the latest rage, and it's not a coincidence. They're in all the commercials. There's shows on TV about the Vikings. So I'm going to break through all the distortion, man, and we're going to see the truth of what's really going on. But Ragnarok just happened, the Viking Apocalypse, and the world is now on the brink of World War III. I was talking about in my Building the Ark series, it's all about the queen bees. We're on the brink. We've already coronated the next queen bee. It's Hillary Clinton, man, and it's not by accident that's what's gonna, manifest. Forget about voting, man. Democracy right now, I don't know what to tell you, man, but, Hillary's the president, the next queen bee. Right now we got Sunspot 2002, that's the 22s. There's a huge potential for major X-class and M-class flares. There's a huge coronal hole. If you look at that coronal hole, it looks scarily like the coronal hole that was facing Earth in 2011 when we had the Fukushima earthquake and the tsunami that created the nuclear nightmare and disaster that is ongoing even as we speak. Even though the world wants to turn one blind eye or two blind eyes, Fukushima is still a festering wound on planet Earth. But that was back in 2011. Once again, the hypersynchronicity is just unbelievable. We had a bunch of huge earthquakes the last couple of days, including a 6.9 off the coast of Eureka. Here in San Jose, though, today we're having a the last 2 days have been just absolutely glorious. It's like summer, man. Spring, all the trees are budding. But, across the rest of the USA, the apocalyptic winter storms keep going. There was Winter Storm Titan, and now it's Winter Storm Vulcan, but it just never ends. Of course, we got the Malaysia flight that just disappeared off the face of the Earth, Flight 370. And, like I said, I'm going to be doing this series on the Vikings on Operation End Times. One of the most famous Viking songs of modern age is Led Zeppelin, the Immigrant Song. You know, we come from the land of the ice and snow where the wind blows, you know. But that song talks about, you know, bringing peace to war, the overlords. And my friends, that's all in play as we reach this synchronicity of the ages and the switching out of ages or times, you know. But the Immigrant Song, you know, what it talks about is going towards a distant western shore, you know, because it's the kings from the east heading to the west, you know, the beginning, alpha meeting omega, you know. That's what East and West represents, and that's where the hordes with their swords are either going or coming, you know. And that's where nowadays we're in that age, my friends, where it's all everything's, you know, reflections of things, and it's hard to tell what the hell is real and what is not real. But in the Immigrant Song, they were headed towards the western shore, and that's the last direction that they saw this airplane, Flight 370. A Boeing 777 with 239 passengers and 153 Chinese passengers. And there's that 153, which is in play. And I will, you know, show you how it connects right into the Vikings in my Viking series over on Operation End Times. But today, you know, there's that sunspot 2002 that looks like it's got huge potential for sun flares, but there is a blackout, and that's why I played, that's the Scorpions, you know, from their album back in the 80s, man. It's the dude that had his head in a bandage and forks in his eyes just screaming. But I remember being up at the Oakland Coliseum for a day on the green where the Scorpions were there and a whole bunch of other kick-ass heavy metal rock bands, because that was just the day and age. We are the sum total of everything we see, hear, say, and do, and experience, my friends. Like Jimi Hendrix said, it's about the experience, you know, and that's why we're all experiencing stuff, and it's only a matter of whether you have your eyes open and you're like, oh man, look what's going on, or you're just absolutely clueless. But that's kind of what the Blackout song was saying, is he goes, I don't want to find out, I just want to get out, you know, black out. I'd rather just black out, and hopefully this thing passes over, and then I wake up, and then, you know, it's happy days again. And that's kind of what's going on, you know. But go check out Operation End Times. I have given out so much information over there. Today, you know, there was a huge fire in San Francisco, a whole city block burning. There's the horror in Harlem, a building blows up and collapses. I'm telling you, my friends, you know, the world is starting to manifest, you know, what it is. And it's not pretty, my friends. Obamacare is imploding. The numbers don't add up. It was a Ponzi scheme, all based on, you know, a pyramid of money of healthy people who don't need a product buying the product. And, you know, that's a huge distortion that's just rippling through the economy. But now, with the Ukraine crisis, they're talking about doing all sorts of crazy stuff on a world, global economic level, you know, using the U.S. banks and just trying to put the hammer of the gods to Russia. And I'll tell you what, if you don't think there's going to be reverberations around the world with our financial system, you are sadly mistaken. And that graph that showed that there's a synchronicity between 1929 and the current stock market that you know, was put up, most people just walked on by, they blinked, they're like, ha, synchronicity, who cares? But according to that chart, the crash comes around April 2nd, you know, right after April Fool's Day. You know, we'll see who's fooling who. You know, the IRS scandal is going. Lois Lerner pleading the fifth. The fifth is in play. That's the Viking, you know, V is 5, but I guess if you want to add the I, it could be the 6th king, but I kind of view it as the 5th king. But Lois Lerner, look at her name, man, Lerner, you know, like, that's what it's all about right now, my friends, you know. There's two types of people in this world, those that aren't learning and those that are learning. Lois Lerner, you know, she ain't learning nothing. What she thinks is you're all too stupid to figure it out. But we shall see, my friends. The CIA, huge scandal, Dianne Feinstein, you know, everybody spying on everybody. You know, the distortions, the shadows, the principalities in high places cannot be denied. Cannot be denied. You know, there's all sorts of stories about the war on women. You know, is it fake? Is it real? I tell you what, over there on Building the Ark, we talked about the distortions and the war between the men and the women since the dawn of time, you know, so it's coming into its fruition, my friends. You know, the synchronicity of the ages. And here's something I saw on Al Jazeera, man. ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which tons of kids have, and they give them all Ritalin and whatnot. They said the medicines to treat it have skyrocketed in the last couple of years, and there's been an 85% rise in the number of adult women that have ADHD. But, you know, the mental disorders, all of it, men, women, children, whatever, is once again another reflection of the distortion. Because the world being in balance, and, you know, us all holding hands and singing in harmony, you know, that fake picture that the Olympics tried to paint at Sochi, where it's like, oh, isn't it great that we're all here competing in sports? You know, but the second the thing ends, all the countries that are participating are back to killing and hating each other, you know. So if you can't see the fakeness of it, you know, the rings, what is it that's binding you? You know, are you bound to this planet? Are you married to this planet? You know, or have you moved your mountain, climbed over it, swum around it, whatever it takes, but your mind has been made a smooth landscape, and you can see a distant shore, you know, on the western horizon. And I tell you what, my friends, it's a different world than the one we're living in, man. Because, you know, right now, we got to be reaching the point where we say, are we in a black wormhole, you know, black hole of chaos, spiraling out of control that can't be stopped? You know, for some, that may be their truth. Yeah, you know, we all have choices. We all have paths we can make. But that being said, you know, I'm looking at the bright side of life, and you know, if you tune into Operation End Times to my next series, The Vikings, I'm going to extend it right now. I'm making a clarion call across the internet that my vessel is heading on, you know, getting on the high seas, and I got a seat for anybody that wants to get on board. The door is open. Climb on board, my friends. All right. Hey, the tribulation continues. The synchronicity, you know, is just off the charts. Pi Day is Friday. And beyond that, who knows? You know, we got all sorts of stuff happening in the stars. We got Mars, you know, coming into this close approach. We got Jupiter up ahead, you know, at night here in California. It's directly above my head, you know, coming off a Gemini, you know. So I just would tell you, man, behold, there's so much going on. You can either open your eyes or you can black out. And you know what? If you don't want to pass out, just stick your head in a hole in the sand like an ostrich and you will experience the blackout. But I will tell you what, when destruction and tribulation is knocking at your door, you know, it doesn't matter. You won't be able to deny it either. But, you know, that'll be a truth I will reveal in the series I'm about to do, is the Vikings. And it's all about who's looking at what, you know. What vision do you have? You know, what are you seeing? All right. Hey, God bless you. This is Tribulation 515, 2011. Stay thirsty, my friends.